And for 99% of brands that we audit, most are under optimized. Most think they're optimized because they have the flow in place. But just because you have the flow in place does not mean the flow is built out to the extent that it can be. And some brands always look at it as like, well, if I built out 10, for example, welcome series emails, and the first one still drives the lion's share of the revenue, then what's the point of building up the other 9? And the point is that you shouldn't be really benchmarking against the very first email in the welcome series, which sends the coupon, which people who are very, very high intent are waiting for. That is going to attribute back a lot of revenue. That is going to then, maybe be used in that final conversion if it's in that same sort of like session or within that amount of time. Like, it's not really a fair comparison. You can also make the case that it's not even the welcome series that drove that conversion at that point. Like, you're competing with Meta because most likely you drove that new traffic through a new acquisition source. Yeah. They went through a pop-up. The pop-up sent you an email. The email had a coupon code. You clicked on the email. Now it's getting an attribution credit back to the welcome series. You're going to use that coupon, make the purchase. And it's like, yeah, but the email was just like an intermediary step. It wasn't like the deciding thing that actually drove that revenue.
Yeah.
But what actually could be a deciding thing is the 10th email in the welcome series, which came like 3 weeks after they opted in. And they kind of forgot, and then they got it in their inbox, clicked on it. The offer was congruent with what they originally had, or the hero product was well merchandised in that email. Yeah. And that was the thing that was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I actually really like that. And then they go back, and then that actually triggers a final conversion. Yes. So like, those are the emails that actually drive incremental value. That first email is like often misleading, but still super important, because without it, functionally, your sequence is broken. So sometimes people don't look at it in those terms. But if you're using a segment trigger to trigger your welcome series, that's an incredibly risky strategy for a number of reasons. The way the Klaviyo API set up, it can actually delay the initial message that subscribers are supposed to receive by up to a few minutes, up to even like, we've seen cases of half an hour, 1 hour. So we'll do an audit, we'll opt into a brand's list, and then it'll take us like an hour to receive the welcome series email. We'll go in and audit, and we'll see like, well, there's no delay. It should be instant. Well, it's because they're using a segment trigger.
Yeah.
So you're relying on Klaviyo to populate a segment, which is a completely different function than the subscriber list API. So I know we're getting into the very nitty gritty right now, but long story short, make sure you're doing a list trigger, not a segment trigger on your flows, such as the welcome series. You can use segment trigger on like complex winbacks, VIP segments, all this post-purchase stuff that's not like, doesn't need to be sent within ideally a minute or less of someone opting in. But when it's a critical flow, like someone's opted in through the pop-up and they're waiting on a coupon code because that is the expectation. If you break that expectation because of a technical delay, that's not only a bad experience, you're probably losing that conversion, you're probably losing trust. And that subscriber who was expecting to get a coupon and potentially convert in that session, now basically has no idea what happened to their coupon, can't find it. It's the equivalent of going to spam, but even worse, because if they even check their spam folder, they still can't find it. So something we see, it's like, it's such a bad mistake, but some people make it and they don't even realize the impact that has on their flow performance. They fix that one thing, they could actually fix their entire flows, like first email performance, like overnight, like literally overnight.